Hi, my name is Linje Manyozo. I'm a senior lecturer in communication for development here at MIT University. I also consider myself a development practitioner and, of course, a curious student of society who is fascinated by investigating the flow and contestation of power during the production as well as integration of citizen voices in development policy formulation and implementation. So basically it's about trying to understand the politics that govern the way citizen voices are identified, they are packaged together, and they are integrated in development processes. So we want to examine how citizens become visible in the development process. Now, what I want to talk to you about briefly is about my new book, which is Communicating Development with Communities, which has just been published by Routledge. Now, in my earlier work, which was published about 3-4 years ago, Media, Communication and Development, 3 Approaches, I had initially discussed the 3 approaches that shape and govern the way we think about, the way we practice communication for development. And these 3 approaches are media development, which is basically about structures, capacity, and institutions. And then there is also media for development, which is largely about content. And of course, the last one is participatory communication. Now, this new book, Communicating Development with Communities, builds on this last approach, participatory communication, in order to discuss how power is implicated in the processes of building relationships with groups, with institutions, and of course with communities as a means of speaking and doing development on the ground. Now, oftentimes when we talk about communicating development with people, we focus on collecting and packaging information and then disseminating this information to communities. Well, this is not what this book is about. This book is about the hard work of working with communities, the hard work of living and engaging with people as a precursor to bringing up innovative ideas, bringing up interventions together with people on the ground and in ways that people can identify with, so that the resultant solutions, development solutions, make sense in the lives of people that we are working with. So here we are talking about the idea of speaking and contesting development at the local level. So when we talk about communicating development with communities, we are talking about the removal of the oppressive and constraining factors that prevent especially marginalized groups from participating in community polity. Therefore, if I have to summarize what the book is about, this book is about celebrating the values of empathy, the values of listening, the values of tolerance. And as Paulo Freire observes in the wonderful book Letters to Christina, it is about development workers, subject matter specialists, and communities on the ground coming together to curate development discourses and solutions that are very pragmatic, that are contextual, and of course, relevant. So, to address these issues, the book, Communicating Development with Communities, has 5 critical topics that I have employed in analyzing the issue of community engagement and community development. The first topic is the spectacle of development, and it looks at the politics of defining development itself, the politics of shaping what we consider as development discourse. And the second chapter, Language of Oppression, it emphasizes that being reflexive, we have to be reflexive about our role as outsiders, and especially in relation to how our privileged position in society could end up consolidating oppressive power structures and discourses, even when we have the best of intentions. The third chapter, The Language of the Subaltern, it encourages us to think deeply about the depth and politics of subaltern speech, because sometimes we may end up fighting against problems that don't exist. And the fourth chapter, which is a very interesting chapter, talks about living with the people. Now, in this chapter, I'm talking about the tools and skills that are required to constructively and faithfully engage with people on the ground. And the other chapter is Encountering Poverty. Now, in this chapter, which is, of course, a conversation with Robert Chambers, I talk about how university training, how graduate training, upbringing, and, of course, our personalities do shape the way we understand poverty, the way we understand development, and, of course, the way we understand and relate with communities on the ground. And finally, as a concluding chapter, I talk about the pedagogy of listening, the power of being there in the community, living with the people and having that smell and feel of what is around us at that particular moment in time. And in this chapter, I talk about the color of words, the celebration of listening, and that to listen is not just to keep quiet when somebody is speaking, but to deliberately create an opportunity that allows us to celebrate tolerance. And tolerance, as Paulo Freire discusses, is not a question of being naive, but it's a question of humility, of understanding that at certain points in the development discourse, the exploration of development discourse, we might learn new things from the people that we are interacting with. And that's what this book is about. It's about celebrating listening, celebrating tolerance, and celebrating the important discourse, I think, in my opinion, of understanding each other as human beings. Thank you.